Justified Season 6, Episode 10, Trust. I loved this episode for, not just the ending. The ending was insane. I didn't expect that to happen. I was like, they're talking and stuff. She pulls the gun out on him. I thought they were going to have like a crazy conversation. I didn't think it was going to be like, baby, boom, and then she shoots him. But there was a lot of stuff in this episode that I really love. Like, we got to see Markham's kind of new guy, Boone. We saw him have some even crazier moments in this episode. We saw him kind of talk to Raylan early on about the guy who is actually Garrett from The Walking Dead, is the same actor. And I was like, it was funny in the second scene when Boone went back to the bar. I was like, Garrett's going to get killed in this. But I thought it was kind of funny that it was the same actor. But we got to see him in this episode. He talks to Raylan and stuff, and he's just a really weird character, but he's insanely violent as well. And so, like, they have the initial moment in this episode. Then they have the scene where Markham goes to the aunt, and I can never think of the girl's name for whatever reason. I can just never think of her name. But he goes to like her aunt or like great grandma or grandmother or something, like one of those. I completely missed. I was just like wrapped up in the scene. Like, as soon as she kind of flipped on him, like everything else went out the window for me. I was just like, she knows exactly what he's there for, and she's no dummy. She knows why he's there, and unfortunately, that kind of led to her dying. Like, in the next scene, like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I thought he was gonna kind of do his typical thing where he tries to talk people into stuff, and if it didn't work, he was gonna try to maybe talk to him again, and then the third time was kind of when he would deal with that. But considering the point where he's at now, where he's lost two people, had the third guy kind of turned on him because he left the second guy just out on his own to get killed off. He loses the three main people that he had. He has one guy with him now. He's got all sorts of crap going on with Raylan trying to get Boyd and using him to get Boyd. Raylan kind of hinting like, hey, tell your fiance that this is where the money's going because she's going to ask you. And then, of course, he finds out that happened. So he's got all this crap going on. He doesn't have time anymore. It's just like, it didn't work. And, Boone, I know you like the girl, but I need you to kill her family, and then we're going to kill her because I need this land. And that's all there is to it. Like, Boone goes in there, boom, kills a woman, comes out the house, and that's it. And then, of course, he goes to the diner later in the episode, and he has the creepiest, scariest conversation in that bar. Like, the whole time, I think, if you're watching it, I think the whole time everyone had the same idea. Like, he's going to draw on this guy because he's just, like, it's so weird. It's like, it's hard to say that he's like a douche because it's almost like he's just so far gone. It's not even douchey when he's being just mean to people for no good reason. It's like he's just crazy. Like, he is actually insane a little bit. And it's like he wants to buy the guy's hat and he's not selling it. And then, of course, he's freaking the guy out because he's being really weird and stuff. And he's like, pouring the coffee. And, once it was kind of like he isn't going to use the gun, I kept thinking, like, he's, like, especially when he actually poured the coffee, I thought he was going to throw it in his face and just beat the guy up and take the hat. And then he poured the coffee. I'm like, he's going to have the guy reach for the coffee and he's going to grab him and, like, bash the mug into his face, or he's just going to do it or something. I wasn't sure what to expect in that scene. And then, he gets the hat and stuff because the guy's freaking out, doesn't want to get destroyed by this maniac. And he puts it on and stuff. It's like, oh, it actually doesn't work. And then it's like he starts messing with the woman. And, that's just where it ends. Like, I have to assume he got out of that without killing anyone in the bar. But I don't know. Like, or I should say diner. But I don't know. It was just such a crazy scene. And that was just the end of, his moments in the episode because it was towards the end of the episode. And it was just like, that ended and we aren't going to know till the next episode, which, I'm so far behind. Like, the series finale, it's 1:41 now, so technically it's tonight, and I'm catching up on these last, like, 3 or 4 episodes before the actual series finale, and I think it's in season, but the series finale, and this has me so freaking excited. It was like, I thought, Boyd, they weren't going to have Boyd until the very end, and they're really wrapping stuff up, too, and I love the way they're doing it. Because Boyd kind of gives up his 2 people. He gives up, like, his second in command and that guy's brother. So he gives them up. They have a little reference to Ava's uncle. Like, especially with her last line, it was like, he got turned around, like him of all people. So he's gonna come back somewhere, and I don't know when or how, but he's gonna be coming back in these next couple episodes. They have it where, obviously Boyd escapes, and they kind of give the info, and I love the way he did things, like, by the way, just to kind of throw this out there, because I think you ought to know it. It was her idea to rob you in the first place because she thought you killed her husband, or got her husband killed. So, I thought that was cool, and obviously they both were kind of in agreement that it's not the other person. She realized, obviously, when he came to save her, like, he would have totally let me die if that were the case. So she knows he didn't give a crap anyway. He mentioned that episodes ago, like, honestly, I don't even care anymore. It's the past. If you gave him up, then you did. Like, it's too bad. Like, it's over. It sucks, but that's all in the past. So for him, it didn't matter anyway. And I think he's kind of over it because he instantly realized, like, well, kind of can't be mad at this woman. She thought I got her husband killed. And that's like a huge deal. If anyone, you're with someone, you marry someone, and then someone, especially when it's someone you think is your friend and like business partner, back in the day, you think it's them, you kind of, if you're that other person, you kind of be like, yeah, I got it. You just can't be that mad at it. Like, I would do the same thing. So it's kind of funny how they had that crazy little moment, but ultimately it only took like 2 seconds for him to give her that look, like, meh, hey, it happens. So, that's been resolved. And then, of course, the stuff with Win and Mikey, it was like, oh, Mikey kind of betrayed Win, which is just crazy because, they're just like so tight-knit. They've been tight-knit the whole series. And Mikey kind of had enough. He doesn't want to, go against his code. And he knocks Win out, and, he calls, God, I can't think of her name. I suck at the names for some reason. I've always sucked at names. But, he calls her, and it's like, he leaves her that message, which she didn't get yet, but I have to assume that she'll get it in the next episode, and she'll see that. And Win's probably going to get killed off, too. If he doesn't get killed off, he's going to jail, because that's how they're getting rid of the characters. It's like, we bust them with this, they go away, for a long time. Because they have, like, assault rifles and junk in their bag. So the brothers are definitely going down for a really long time. They obviously killed off Dewey, which was another great thing that they finally brought up. Because I was waiting for that to happen. It was like, in the first episode, obviously he gets killed off, which really sucks because I love his character. And then the next episode, I think it was the next episode, his necklace gets put on that little stuffed, whatever it wasn't a squirrel, but little stuffed animal. And they finally did it in this episode. It was like, they mentioned it before, and then Ava picks it up, and it's just like, there it is. And I thought, obviously, that's how it was going to go. Like, they actually are going to get him with the Dewey thing above all else, because he's going to get away with the other stuff. And then it's like, unfortunately, Ava, that just isn't going to cut it. She's freaking out because the lawyer, he wants to pull things because she, he feels she didn't hold up her end of the bargain. And based on the way they kind of did that, they were going to decide, okay, we'll give her some extra time because she was telling the truth, because obviously he didn't trust her. But it was like, they found out she was telling the truth. Boyd was nowhere near, looking for the money. And it seemed like they were going to decide, like, well, she gave us at least some information. She was trying to do as much as she could. She gave us, a decent amount of information just now. Like, and this was a big thing, them trying to get Boyd, because they thought they were about to. So it seemed like they were going to decide, we'll give her a little bit extra time. And obviously with the way things ended, she shoots Boyd and takes off with all the money. That's not going to work so well for her. So she'll probably end up going to jail. Even at the end of the series, there may not be a way to really correct things, because Raylan isn't just going to let her, vanish, off in the night with $10 million. I don't know what the heck's going to happen with Boyd. He's just going to like be in the hospital, I guess. I don't know, because they really have nothing on Boyd still, because he didn't have the money on him. He really just got shot. And even with the money, I mean, they could say all this stuff, and I guess that would have been the only way to kind of, take it to trial, as it was kind of referred to. But I don't know what's going to happen with him now, and then she's off in the wind, so it could completely screw things up for her. There may be no second chance, or I guess third chance in this sense. But I'm definitely excited for it. It should be pretty amazing these last couple episodes, and then I don't, I still have like a couple episodes to watch before the series finale, but I'm so excited. I've loved the show since it started, and this is just an insane episode. Like, all sorts of crazy stuff went down. Wynn could get killed off now. I wasn't even thinking of that, but that's kind of how they're doing it. Like I said, for all the bad guys, it's like they're either dying or they're going to prison. There might be someone in there where they just kind of go off. Like Ava's uncle, he was in the mines, but really he doesn't have that much of a connection to the characters or anything illegal. And, Raylan kind of, Raylan made the decision not to take him in when he had the chance, when he saw him with the dynamite. And so he might be one of the bad guys where it's like he was just low enough on the totem pole to not get arrested, but we as viewers who got to see him as technically one of the bad guys. He helped Boyd. Once you get in with Boyd, you're on the villain side of things, so that's just kind of how it goes. But he might be somewhere sort of in between where we see him as a villain, but he might actually end up escaping. And Ava, I'd love to see Ava survive. I like her character too. I'd love to see, honestly, I would like to see Boyd survive, but I feel like the only way the show's going to possibly end is with Raylan versus Boyd, just gunfight, like, period. But it could end with, like, a fist fight, and they, just fight it all out, like 6 seasons worth of rage and stuff. They fight it all out, and then, they do end up taking Boyd to trial for something crazy, but this is definitely a great episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And when you first saw it, what the heck did you guys think about Ava just shooting Boyd and taking off in the night? Because that was not at all what I was expecting. I thought she was really going to try to get him to confess to killing Dewey, and I thought it might work. I figured, she wears a wire, does like something simple, a phone call, put the phone in the back seat or something like that. Easy. It's all you gotta do, talk to him, and Raylan was behind the thing. I thought he was gone. I thought that's kind of how they were gonna do it. I didn't even consider the fact that they did drive in the same car. Like, oh, he'd have to be somewhere around. It wasn't even, in my mind, but that totally caught me off guard. But I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.